So there's about 300 billion stars in the Milky Way. So let's just say 10% of them have a planet. And keep in mind our star, you know, the sun, you know her. We have 9 or 8, depending on how you feel about Pluto that day. If just 10% of them have a single planet around them, that means that there's 30 billion planets in our galaxy alone. All this empty space, and the lady at Starbucks still had to sit directly next to me yesterday, when there was not only a huge empty cafe, but a whole universe. Okay, no, but seriously, there's over 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe. The observable universe, oh my god, that's a tongue twister. The observable universe being everything we can see of the universe from the Earth. So now let's just say one of those planets that we talked about like 20 seconds ago became inhabited, which they probably did, but let's say they became inhabited like 100,000 years before us. Imagine how much more advanced than us they are. Look how much our planet has advanced in 100 years. Imagine us in 100,000 years. Like, the amount of stuff that could be out there that we don't know about is nuts. It feels so good to be consistently filming again. I have literally been so busy with editing and just life that I've had no time to do anything. Literally, the only thing that has been keeping me sane is Philo. Philo is a video streaming service that offers all of your favorite TV shows and networks at such a reasonable price. It's literally like $16 a month for over 43 networks, which is way cheaper than a cable bill. I've been using Philo to catch up on my favorite show, which is Jersey Shore Family Vacation. But more importantly, today I realized that they have Drake and Josh on it. I'm gonna go and record it because you can record shows on Philo too. Drake and Josh. Record. Philo is available on almost any device, and you guys can go in my description down below and click the link and download your 7-day free trial. And if you like it, you can even get your first month for 30% off using the code. Everything you need will be in the description down below. And thank you so much, Philo, for sponsoring this video. And yeah, let's get into the extraterrestrial stuff. If you guys have been following me closely for some time now, you guys know that I have been wanting to do extraterrestrial videos for so long. It's always been something that I've wanted to do. Like, I always wanted to be like an astronomer or something when I'm older, but you know, like chemistry, can't do her. So you know what, why not put extraterrestrial videos on my YouTube channel? It's something I love, something I'm interested in, and something I'm passionate about. I really hope that you guys enjoyed them as much as I do. Today we are going to be talking about the scaliest. Hi. Speaking of scaly, my elbows are literally scaly and terrifying. My ADD is literally going to be the death of any success I have, and I've accepted that, so. But today we're going to be talking about the scariest alien encounters and abductions. This is something that interests me so much and also terrifies me. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. And before we get into the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And yeah, let's get right into the video. The first story I'm going to tell you is about Betty and Barney Hill. Betty and Barney Hill were driving home from their honeymoon in September of 1961, which if you're driving home from your honeymoon, it's probably not that good of a honeymoon, but like, who am I to judge? They left at 10 p.m. and they were supposed to get home at 2 a.m. but like 3 a.m. the latest. A few hours into the trip, they realized that there was this strange light in the sky that seemed to be following them. When they finally got home, they felt extremely dirty. Their watches stopped working completely. Betty's dress was ripped. Both of their shoes were scuffed and dirty. But the weirdest thing is, they arrived home 2 to 3 hours after they were supposed to. Like, let's say the trip was supposed to take 4 hours. It actually took 7 hours, and they could not account for this extra time that was lost. That's like easy stuff to hear, but put yourself in their shoes and imagine driving home and finally getting home and realizing all this stuff is off about your appearance, and you got home hours later than you were supposed to. Like, imagine going to Dunkin' Donuts or something to get coffee and coming back and it's like 4 hours later, but you feel like you were only gone for 5 minutes. The Air Force wound up getting involved and they created a special project called Project Blue Book, which investigated all alien encounters. They got a special psychiatrist that was able to unblock some of Betty and Barney's memories from that night, and what they were able to remember is literally terrifying. The first thing that they remembered from that night was the light following their car. At first they thought it was a satellite, but then when they really took a closer look at it through binoculars, they realized that it was a spinning object in the sky. The part that literally gave me the chills is that they were able to look through the windows with the binoculars and see gray uniformed beings staring directly at them. I know some of you are thinking it was a satellite, but let me, just to entertain you, let me ask you, if you ever see a satellite in the night sky and you look at it, what are the pilots wearing? You can't see pilots in a satellite. If there even are pilots in a satellite, I don't know. Didn't look that up for this video. All I know is that they were staring at gray uniformed beings staring directly back at them. Barney instantly had the thought that they were about to be captured, so he started running and yelling back to the car, and then out of nowhere, they heard extremely loud and rhythmic beeps. After hearing these beeps, they instantly felt dizzy and passed out. And then when they woke up, they were extremely confused because it was 2 hours later and they were 35 miles down the road, with no recollection of anything. When they got home, Barney kept... When they got home, Barney kept on getting the urge to check his genitals, or his pee-pee, one might say. And Betty was extremely worried about radiation. And I know that sounds random to you guys, but it was just as random to them. Like, he couldn't understand why he kept on going into the bathroom to check his... Should I be mature? No. His pee-pee, and she couldn't understand why she was so alarmed and worried about radiation. With the help of the Air Force and months of sessions with the psychiatrist, they were able to remember that the beeps that they heard were actually the UFO landing on their car and putting them to sleep. Apparently, the gray beings took them inside of the UFO, separated them, examined their bodies separately, took their clothes off, took strands of their hair, did all this crazy experimental stuff on them. But I think the most disturbing one is that they took a 6-inch needle and put it inside of Betty's belly, and she said that this pregnancy test was extremely painful and that the leader of the gray beings watched from the side the whole time. At one point, when Betty asked where they came from, they said, which I don't know if they spoke in English or if like she got the feeling, because a lot of the things with like alien encounters is like you get feelings, but basically the response was, if you don't know where you are in the universe, there would be no point in telling you where I'm from. And like I said, I don't know if they spoke English. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, but with doing research, I've realized that a lot of the stuff with these alien encounters is kind of like feelings that people get, and they'll kind of like wake up later with a feeling and like with the answers, you know what I mean? That one was so terrifying and creepy. Like, imagine that actually happening to you. Like, you're driving with your boyfriend or a friend or a girlfriend, whatever it may be, and all this stuff happens to you, and like before you know it, you're having tests run on you by the government, like all this crazy stuff. I can't. The next one I'm kind of gonna read to you word for word. I have it on my phone. It's from this guy's exact point of view, and I don't want to change it in any type of way because I want it to be exactly how he told it. So here we go. One night a few years back, my friend who was driving and I were taking his girlfriend home when we decided to take the long way home. As we were driving along this fairly deserted back road, I begin to zone out. I stare at this blinking red light off in the distance and casually think to myself, I wonder when they built a cell phone tower all the way out here. Suddenly, it blinks and is dramatically closer than it was just a moment earlier. At this point, my friend points it out and stops in the road. It blinks once more and is directly in front and over the top of us. The light is so bright it floods our car with a deep scarlet hue. I lean forward so that I can see directly into the light. In that brief moment, I feel a flood of negative emotions. The closest description I can offer to that is being under a giant microscope and having every pore examined thoroughly. We're not trying to make anyone sick here. No one's looking at me naked under a microscope. Everyone relax. I then look away from the light to my friend and ask him to drive. He barely responds, apparently in the similar state. Then he snaps out of it and starts driving. As we get a little ways down the road, I notice the red light isn't fading and the interior of the car is still clearly lit by it. I look out the window and to my horror, the light is following us and does so for approximately 1 or 2 miles. The light unexpectedly veers off to the left and comes down to the ground level in the patch of trees adjacent to the road. My friend stops the car and continues to stare at it and abruptly declares he is going to get out and look at it as if he is in some sort of trance. He opens the door and I grab his arm and tell him if he does, I will get in the driver's seat and leave him. That's literally something I would do. We had to leave that instant. He looks at me and seems to come out of that state and punches the gas so hard the tires lose traction and spin. The light remained stationary as we rode away, but I've never looked at the night sky the same. I'm from like a suburban area, so we see stars, but not like a crazy amount of stars. Sometimes when I go with the twins or Zach upstate, there is just a crazy amount of stars, like stuff you see on posters and on the internet. And I always get so terrified to just stand out in the middle of like the darkness and look up at the sky because I'm so afraid of what I'm gonna see. I can't imagine if that happened to me, I would literally never look at the night sky again. This next one just gives me such a bad feeling, kind of like how the paranormal stuff gives me the feeling, but I don't know, I just hate it. Listen for yourselves. So basically this person, it was back when they were in school and they were laying in their bed getting ready for bed one night. They started getting the worst feeling that they've ever had in their lives. But they said it was like more than a feeling, it was like someone was coming to get them. Now they were just as confused as you and I are hearing this, but they knew this was a reoccurrence. They don't know why, but they knew this has happened before and that it was a reoccurring thing. The best way they could explain it is that their body remembered and knew what was about to happen, but their mind didn't. They said that they don't remember anything, but because this has happened so many times, although they don't remember, they knew that it was close and within eyesight's distance. They were more terrified than they've ever been and they had no idea why or of what. But they knew that no matter what was coming for them was gonna get them no matter what they did. They wanted to justify that it was not sleep paralysis because they only sat on their bed for about 2 seconds. And then when they stood up to turn around, as they were turning around, it became the next morning. Like it was like 11 p.m. and then when they got up and turned around, it was the next morning. Like that's out of a book or a movie. What would you guys do if you're laying in your bed, it's 11 p.m. and then you get up and turn around and all of a sudden as you're turning, it's the next morning? Like what would be the first thing you do or say? Who would you call? I can't imagine. They said that they instantly felt well rested even though only a second, which they were awake for, had passed. She said that she went downstairs and went on about her day, and then whenever she tried to tell someone about it, she explained it as if you were telling someone that the grass in your backyard is green. No one thought it was crazy. No one thought she was crazy. Everyone just acted like it was a normal thing and no one reacted in any way, shape, or form. So she eventually just dropped it and never spoke about it again. Until this thread, I guess. But yeah, those are the encounters I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed researching it and making it. I really want to post more extraterrestrial stuff on my channel. I hope you guys love that. If you do, show me by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Turn on my notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video because you guys know YouTube doesn't do it for me. And thank you so much again to Philo for sponsoring this video. My link is in the description down below. Go get your 7-day free trial. And yeah, until next week, I will see you guys next week. Bye.